A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, Episode 6, the finale review. Was the finale a little anticlimactic, or was it the perfect ending for this kind of show? Alright, so I'm just reviewing Episode 6 today, then tomorrow I'm going to do my full season review for Season 1 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. But as for the finale, for me, this was an appropriate ending. It wasn't a huge spectacle, it wasn't some massive crazy cliffhanger. It was more quiet, more character-focused, which is what this show has done really well all season. This episode starts off with the aftermath after Baelor's tragic death, and it's really interesting to see everyone's different perspective on it. Of course, Dunk feels guilty. He feels like this is his fault. He's sitting there thinking, why would the gods favor a hedge knight over a prince? That's just who Dunk is. He can't wrap his head around the idea that Baelor chose to fight because it was the right thing to do. Then you've got Lionel Baratheon basically saying the only good dragon is a dead dragon. And I'm sure Lionel could see that Baelor was different, more noble, more honorable, actually a good man. But it doesn't matter to him. His disdain for the Targaryens just runs that deep. But he does bring up a good point. Baelor wasn't risking as much as the others who were willing to fight for Dunk. He was fighting men sworn to protect him. Lionel and the others were risking everything. So it kind of makes you second guess why Dunk has such a devotion to Baelor and not to someone like Lionel Baratheon. And I was honestly a little surprised by Dunk turning down Lionel's offer to go back with him to Storm's End. The conversation between Maekar and Dunk was probably my favorite part of the episode. Maekar talks about how people will whisper, they'll whisper that he meant to kill his own brother, they'll whisper that Dunk is at fault for Baelor's death, and if Maekar ever becomes king and something goes wrong in the Seven Kingdoms, people will say Baelor would never have let this happen. I just really liked that look into the general nature of people. That's exactly what people would do. History gets rewritten, narratives get twisted, and only our main characters will ever truly know what actually happened. Then there's that conversation between Dunk and Baelor's son, talking about how Baelor would have been a great king. Yet the temperament, the judgment, and the character, it really is a tragedy for the entire realm. And it makes you think, how different would Game of Thrones history have been if Baelor had lived and become king? That's just such good George R.R. Martin writing. One death can change absolutely everything. Then Maekar offers Dunk a pretty great deal. Take Aegon as your squire, come back with them, Dunk will get proper training with a Master at Arms, and on top of that, Aerian's getting sent away to the east. So that asshole is completely out of the picture. That seems like the perfect deal for Dunk, but he initially declines. He says he's done with princes, and you completely understand where he's coming from. This whole thing was traumatic. He saw some of the worst of the Targaryens. It makes sense he'd want nothing to do with that world or that family at all anymore. But ultimately, he agrees on the condition that Aeg gets to go on the road with him. And Dunk brings up a really good point. Aerion and Daeron grew up in these extravagant lifestyles, and look what that turned them into. Seeing the real world, seeing how most people actually live, that would be invaluable for Aeg. It looks like Maekar agrees, and then we'd find out Aeg lied. Again, Maekar never approved any of it, and that's how they end Season 1. And given the scale and tone of the story, I thought it was fitting. This show was never really about big battles or insane twists. It's about these quieter character moments, and I can definitely see why some people might feel like it was anticlimactic. I do get that, but for me it worked. I think it wrapped up Season 1 nicely and set up Season 2 in a way that feels true to the story. So let me know about your thoughts on the finale of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms down in the comments below, and like, follow, subscribe for more videos like this.